Hey people, welcome to Top Cat's Liar or Lair, whatever. Um, my birthday's coming up in April, and what greater gift than a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie? Infinity War is gonna be, oh my gosh, bonkers! I've been waiting for this film ever since I read the Avengers versus Thanos collected comic. Um, yeah, so I thought I'd just rack my brain and think of where are the Infinity Stones and which movies have had them. So, say you wanted to do just a marathon of just the Infinity Stone having movies. This is what I came up with. Tell me in the comments below if I missed anything. So, Captain America has a Space Stone. Avengers has the Space and Mind Stone. Then comes Thor The Dark World, which I have a re-edit of because that movie's not that great. But it's the only one that has the Reality Stone, or the Ether, as they call it. But yeah, I have a re-edit of that, and it's a fan re-edit, and I'm very proud of it because I watch it exclusively. I don't watch the theatrical version anymore. It mixes it up a bit. I re-subtitle all of Malekith's dialogue because it was just horrible, absolutely horrible. Like just bland, boring, generic bad guy, and I was like, oh man, I can. He's speaking some kind of weird dark elf language. I'll just give him some really cool shit to say. Made him a better character. Cut out a lot of the Jane clumsiness, as I did with my re-edit of the first Thor movie, which I don't really have anymore, and it's not that necessary. And I cut out all the lovey-dovey shit because Thor and Jane just don't have chemistry. I'm sorry. So I made it just that they're good friends, and it makes the movie better. And I re-edited in some of the deleted scenes that show Jane being a competent scientist, which is nice, instead of going on a date and banging stuff on a table. Oh god, just Hollywood. Why? Anyway, enough said about Thor: The Dark World. Next, after Thor: The Dark World, is Guardians of the Galaxy, which has the Power Stone, the purple Power Stone, which we get to see in action. Then Avengers Age of Ultron with the Mind Stone. Captain America Civil War Mind Stone, because Vision has the Mind Stone by then. Doctor Strange has the Time Stone. And Thor Ragnarok has the Time and Space Stones. So the Space Stone is in Captain America, Avengers, and then not in anything until Thor Ragnarok, which will probably lead into the next movie. No idea where the Soul Stone is, which I believe will be an orange color. But yeah, so if you want a refresher of the new Infinity War movie, the above those movies, I've written this out, so I'll put it in the comment section. The movies are the ones with the stones in them, though. To make it clearer why Captain America is such a douche in Civil War, which I believe he is, I was going into Civil War thinking he was the hero. Yeah, anti-registration, heroes being allowed to do what they want to do. And then he defends Winter Soldier to, like, the 8th degree, to a point where, like, we have courts of law where people who have mental disorders can go on trial and be charged as someone who had a mental break, but they still did a crime, right? They should still, yeah. So they should still get some kind of treatment. But he's like, my law, my law. You know, Captain America And so I point out that if you want to understand why he's a douche, you should watch Winter Soldier. Not just because it explains why he doesn't trust the government, but it's also one of the best Marvel movies, in my opinion. So there you have it. That's one of the cool things with Civil War was the lead up to it. The actual movie's ending was horrible because if you've read the comics, the comic ending. Spoilers if you haven't read the comic. Go read the comic. If you've seen the movie, you'll know that in Civil War he beats he beats Iron Man to a pulp, basically, with Winter Soldier, who he just found out killed his parents under hypnosis. But in the comic, he stops because he sees other people seeing him how he is and how much destruction he's doing, which would have been nice at the airport if he'd noticed. Oh, we're not the bad guys. We're not causing destruction. Causes destruction at an airport in a public place. Beating up a friend of his, or assumed friend, who just found out his parents were killed by that other guy's best friend. No, Captain America, you were in the wrong in Civil War. Completely. And in the comic, it's so beautiful because he realizes that, they've lost, they've won, like, the physical battle, but they've lost what being a hero is about. They've lost, what's the point? What's the point of them fighting each other? That's the result, is just pain and misery and making people scared of them and not aspire to be them. And Captain America at the end of the Civil War comic turns himself in. He'd won the day, and he turns himself in. And in the movie, he goes to the max. He wins the battle and therefore wins the argument, which is stupid. It's stupid. Might versus right. Might equals right is the. It's not why I like Captain America. Civil War annoys me so much because it had the best build-in. Had the best arc leading to it. Because the setup was that Iron Man and Captain America have these beautiful arcs where they change their mentality towards how they see the government. Iron Man at the start of Iron Man 2, he's up against a court and they're like saying, you need to give us your suit, sir, and he's like, you can't have it, I've privatized world peace, and he's like total corporate kind of the government can't have my shit. Libertarian, I'm going to be a superhero and fix my own wrongs and not going to work with the government. I can't. They're keeping me down. The man is keeping me down, kind of thing. And after Sokovia in Age of Ultron, and after having like PTSD from the events at end of Avengers, where he saves the world, but it still puts him in PTSD mode, where he's like, I have to create something that will protect the world if I can't, and there's a bigger threat coming, and so he goes kind of a bit insane in Age of Ultron, where he's like obsessed with protecting things, which they do in Iron Man 3, but it's kind of shit. Iron Man 3 is a shit film, so don't watch it. seeing as though he does it again anyway. Nothing's resolved in Iron Man 3 because in Age of Ultron he has the same hang-ups where he's obsessed with protecting the world. So he builds the Ultrons and it turns into a disaster. It ends up destroying a country and killing heaps of people and making people fear the Avengers, and that's when Iron Man, Tony Stark, goes, okay, we need regulation. I need regulation, right? Tony Stark needs regulation. I can't keep being this solo act without any overhead. I'm making sure, because now he's paranoid that he's not going to be... He's not just paranoid about being underprepared for whatever threat's coming. He's worried that in that state, he can't make rational decisions and needs some oversight. So that's Iron Man going from screw having the government in my shit to the government should probably like check out my shit. And Captain America is the opposite. That's why Civil War is so beautiful. They end up at opposite ends of where they started. Captain America, First Avenger. He's all about the government, USA, what are my orders, sir, kind of thing. And he goes off and fights the war and it gets frozen in carbonite and comes out and blah, blah, blah. Carbonite. But he comes back to a world that's changed. And then Winter Soldier, this is why I suggest watching Winter Soldier to understand Civil War. Winter Soldier, he gets completely turned about. And if you haven't seen Winter Soldier, shut this off and watch it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But it's revealed that the pillars that held up his faith in the government have been a lie, a complete lie. And the only thing that he can strive towards trying to get back, the one thing that still survives of his past, of those glory years that he holds so dear, is his friend Bucky. So he doesn't want to lose that. And when that's threatened in Civil War, that's the thing that makes him kind of a douche and not trusting of the government. And it's fair and reasonable that they get registered because of all the destruction that they've been doing. But he's a war hero. He sees people die in combat situations and understands that sometimes not everybody can be saved, and it doesn't mean we shouldn't try or stagnate ourselves just to make sure that we're not rogue agent kind of things. We're superheroes. We should be able to save people. It doesn't matter if the government approves of us saving people or not. And that's where they should have taken it, and then he should have realized, wow, I'm harboring a terrorist who's also insane, and maybe my friend should get some help, and maybe I shouldn't beat up my other friend who's just found out his parents were killed by my best friend. Maybe I shouldn't do that. That's my big issue with Civil War, is I don't feel that ending works. I feel the setup was beautiful and it's a missed opportunity. So I didn't explain that probably that well in my previous videos where I'm ranting about Civil War. I don't know. I haven't watched them in a while. But yeah. Anyway, this is a long video for... wow. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up. Anyway, hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time on the Top Cats Layer or Lair, whatever.